It's now 16 minutes after the hour. 16 years ago, the Supreme Court banned prayer in the public schools as a violation of First Amendment rights. The state, the court ruled, had no right to promote religious beliefs. Well, every year at this time, the issue is raised again, as many public schools are preparing Christmas celebrations. And Christmas, of course, is a religious holiday. And a suit to prevent Christmas programs in public schools is now pending before a federal appeals court. This morning, we have a face-off on the question of whether Christmas should be banned from the public schools. Madalyn Murray O'Hare, founder of the American Atheist Center, says yes, it should be. John Lofton says no, it should not, and he is a syndicated columnist as well as the editor of the American Conservative Union's publication, Battle Line. Good morning and welcome. Let's start with you, Madalyn. Why is it that you feel so strongly that Christmas, as we know it, should be banned from the public school system?
Because it represents a particular sect of religion, and that sect is Christianity. And it ignores all of the other diversified aspects of religion in the country, such as those persons, particularly Negroes who are Muslims, or the Jews. For instance, if I would suggest, or the Jews would suggest in America, that only Hanukkah be celebrated in the public schools, the Christians would immediately be up in arms. Religion is a private affair, or it should be, and as a private affair, it should be celebrated in a person's home or in their church.
But which
it has
are you
no
concerned?
place in a tax-supported institution.
I'm curious in what you're saying, which you're concerned about most, whether it's celebrated privately or whether there were simply religious holidays introduced into the public school system.
That's
which
right.
were celebrated. Which do you really want?
We're opposed to the fact that in a tax-supported institution such as the public schools of America, that there should be any kind of religion, whether that's Christianity or any other aspect of it, and whether that's for a particular holiday or not. There simply should be no religion in the public schools. We go there in order to learn what to do in our culture, to learn a living.
Well, John, I guess the question becomes, since Christmas is a religious holiday, wouldn't a Christmas program then be unconstitutional?
Well, let me say that first that I am shocked that on this show just a few minutes ago, your weatherman on this very show, this federally licensed medium, had the temerity to allude to the spirit of Christmas. I trust Miss Murray's already preparing a brief to enjoin him from future such references. But the question here this morning is a very simple one. Which side in this debate wants to impose his view through law on the other side?
The Christian.
I am not for compulsory Christmas programs, and we don't have to celebrate only Christmas programs. All religions ought to be allowed to celebrate their programs.
No religions.
Look,
no religions.
So let me have mine for a minute, and then you can talk, okay?
Don't tell me the rules of the game, sir. I'll interrupt if you make an invalid point.
Somebody ought to, because you obviously don't know them. The point is, I don't want to force...
You know, invective will get you no place. Go to the subject.
The point, I'm trying to, but when you're talking...
Go to the subject.
Hold on.
You want to tell people who want to celebrate Christmas that they cannot do it.
That's not true. Only in public schools.
Only in public schools.
All right, well, celebrate Christmas in your home. Celebrate Christmas in your church.
Look.
Why bring your religion into the public tax-supported schools? You, sir, have no right to do that. You are for ignorance and superstition.
I'm a taxpayer.
But you are saying I want ignorance and superstition in the public schools.
You just said invective wouldn't get us anywhere. Why are you indulging in it?
Because ignorance is exactly what you're promoting here. And
Madalyn, for one moment, let us give him at least a minute to respond to your initial comments. All right, John, go ahead.
As I said,
if it's possible.
Hold it.
The issue is who wants to use the force of the state to impose his point of view. I am for voluntary participation in Christmas programs, whereas the people that want to celebrate Christmas through programs, Ms. Murray says by law they should be prohibited from doing this. She wants to smuggle her fanatically atheistic ideology into the law under the guise of neutrality. It's a phony argument, Ms. Murray.
What is phony is the fact that you feel that you can bring pressure onto the public schools at a local level through the ministerial associations and through religious groups. This is your outreach. It has always been for pornography, for any other kind of, quote, moral
Pornography?
issue. Yes, constantly. When it comes to free speech or freedom of thought or anything else, you rely on your local vigilantes, which are the Christian churches in America, to impose their view wherever they can.
Let me repeat again, and I would appreciate it if you'd watch my lips very closely when I say it. I am not for imposing or promoting anything. Those people who want to have Christmas programs
There is no
should
such
have
a
them.
thing as a voluntary program for a 6-year-old child. I say so. Any child that goes into a public school who is, say, 6 years old, 7 years old, or 8 years old, and the principal and the teacher The principal and the teacher says we will have a Christmas program. That 6-year-old child is going to stand up and say, oh no, I object to this, I'm a Jew.
Does singing a Christmas carol constitute a religious event as far as you're concerned?
If the carol is religious, yes. If it is jingle bells, no, because what we should be celebrating, if we're celebrating anything, is a part of the season. That is the solstice, a universal time of festivities having to do with a natural phenomena. But we should only have a winter break and a spring break.
We've got about a minute left.
What Miss Murray forgets, or at least pretends that she forgets, is that part of the First Amendment which allows us to freely exercise our religion without any interference from the government, Miss Murray.
No, institutions.
Look, if that's what hangs you up...
Haven't you read the law on this?
If that's what hangs you up about the tax money, I will be glad to see that all atheists have their 29 cents refunded to them during the time period that it took to put on Christmas. I mean, it's a ridiculous objection.
That's right, because you would care to impose your doctrines and your superstitions on everybody.
You know, you are the
at a cost of 29 cents. That's all that your Christ means to you.
You are the kind of person who gives the devil a bad name. You have trivialized atheism, Ms. Murray. You want to get God off the coins. Astronauts can't say prayers. Congress, is there an institution more in need of opening with a prayer? You want to ban that. It's ridiculous.
And Congress has demonstrated that prayer does no good, and Carter has demonstrated that prayer has done no good. It's an exercise in futility.
May I just inject that, judging from what's transpired in the last 6.5 minutes here this morning, it is obviously a heated battle and one that will definitely continue, and we will hear more from both of you as well as many others. No doubts about it. We'll be back. You're going to meet Leonard Nimoy in our next half hour. He, of course, from Star Trek.